Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We're still in day 2 of the trial, and we just cross-examined Mr. Mike Meekins on his take of what occurred in that evidence room. And, well, there was some very interesting video footage, including 3D models, that showed off the fact that he was indeed attacked by someone. But then we were able to prove without a doubt that there was no crime that took place there. And indeed, anyone could have been wearing that trench coat and hat. Additionally, we still haven't really talked about, in the game, that there was a mysterious piece of white cloth sticking out of another safe vault thing. And I bet you that it's the white trench coat disguise that whoever it was wearing when he encountered Meekins. So I think if we can find the owner of that vault in that corner there, then we'll find out who it was in that video. For now though, we're about to bring in Mr. Marshall to cross-examine him. And before then, little conversation with Lana here, so let's get going. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Wow, I completely read that wrong. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. Oh. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma? You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? I feel like if Lana really told us what she knows, what really happened, then it would end up worse. I think she's still hoping that we can come to the conclusion ourselves. That's the only way out of this, or so she thinks. Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. God damn it, Gumshoe. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. God bless you. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you called me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh, what is this? Oh, you mean this, right? You mean this, right? What in the sweet hell is that? My apologies, detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. Oh, I get it. Okay. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? Oh, shit. Lana's trying to get us to connect the dots. The motive of the current case is rooted in the SL9 incident. It just has to be. So if I understand fully what's happening back then... Yeah. Okay. I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. SL9 incident. But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. Don't I have like 20 minutes in this recess left? It's a lot of papers. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Oh, son of a... Okay, until further notice, I'm going to assume that literally everyone in this entire story was a witness or a part of SL9. That's right, even the likes of Wendy Oldbag, Cody Hackins, everyone's a witness to it. The Joe Darke killings. Yeesh. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. I'll be the judge of that. Let's read it. Okay. Perpetrator Joe Darke. Crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. If you listen closely, I think you could have heard my brain snap. Oh boy. Marshall, huh? Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh boy. Trial data. Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses Lana Skye, Emma Skye? Emma saw it too? Damon Gant and Lana Skye worked on the investigation. Investigator was Bruce Goodman. And Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. Holy shit, okay. Oh, damn, okay. The plot thickens. Ho ho ho! Oh boy. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident is that. That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Darke killings. Joe Darke... No, Lana. That's over with. No! Oh, she just ran out. Oh, damn. Damn, okay. I guess... Damn. You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Thanks, Gumshoe. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Well, okay. Well, if Jake Marshall is who we're going to cross-examine, well... Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. Here we go. Wait just a second. Something about this courtroom is off. Okay, which one of you opened a window? I... 'Cause... 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 'C The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Emma didn't come back. Oh, that's a shame. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, the sass! The sass is real! Oh, I know! You're a patrolman! As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. God, this guy's pretentious. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. My thoughts exactly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Yes, what exactly were you doing? My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. Cemetery? The morgue? What? They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. Oh, I guess he meant the evidence room, okay. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. Wow. Really? Not just drinking on the job, but also not even being at your job while on the job. What a legend. A legend of the West. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. How dare you, good sir? That man's beard is legendary. You can't slander him like that. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. No, help! Oh boy. Okay. As always, we'll just press everything. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them. Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force. So Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime? Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. Wow. How does this guy avoid being fired? Yes, how indeed. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a goldmine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism. Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. Just dodging the question. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. What? That's quite, incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Is this a spaghetti western joke? Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongole sepia pasta. Vongole? I've never heard that word. Cool. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edra says, "Did you not want to raise this year?" Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? Do I have anything to prove that he was in fact there, actually? Well... You know, I don't think I have anything to prove that where he was on that day. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. Hi-ho, Zippy! One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. Oh! Okay. Okay, so pressing doesn't everything, I need to find a contradiction. So let's do this. Oh, what's the term I'm thinking of? Process of elimination. Yes, okay. My job is to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. Yeah, nothing to disprove there. That's absolutely correct. I can't prove that he wasn't told to do that or that it's not his style. It is, in fact, protected by 2 security systems. I feel like I can prove this wrong, but how? And there's absolutely nothing to contest here. He's just saying, I'm gonna leave if you don't have anything. There's nothing to do with it. This has to be the line. I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down, at 5:14 or 5:15. So let's look at everything. Found at the prosecutor's office crime scene. Maybe I could say that no, you were attending the ceremony? Maybe? Hold on. Let me see if there's like some signature of Marshall's here. The prosecutors and names of past recipients are etched on the plate. Oh. Nothing about Marshall. Yeah, no, nothing with this, I don't think. Murder weapon in Edward's blood box. Traces Edward's toolbox, not blood box. No prints. Okay, that's not relevant. Parking stub for Edgeworth's car in the prosecutor's office? No. Allegedly dancing in the evidence room at the time of the murder? No. 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 Definitely not. Parking lot map? No. No, it wouldn't be that. Wait, didn't I... Hold up, didn't I find Goodman's bloody handprint there? Not Goodman's, but Marshall's handprint. Hold up. Marshall's fingerprints! Ah, that's right. Okay. That was a lot simpler than I thought it was. My eyes kind of just glazed over that option earlier. Anyway, Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds, about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. Yeah, but on a bloody handprint? Hello? I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. They drew him with little spurs. That was nice. Anyway. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Uh-oh. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Don't tell me it's like freaking goddamn spaghetti sauce. If it's spaghetti sauce, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll do something. Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. Wow, really? The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Oh. Wait, how would you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Oh, the judge said too. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. He's hiding something, I can feel it. How is he not clean-shaven at this point? You've shaved the same patch of beard like 500 times. Now's my chance to prove it. Okay. Once again, let's press everything first, if only to see the dialogue. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. Oh! Wait, what? Hold up. Hold up. That's his locker? On the left? With the cloth under it? Is he the one who is wearing Goodman's clothes? Wait. That's what it'd mean, right? What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. Yep. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. Oh my god. Okay, well, now I know exactly what happened, I just need to prove it. That's good. That's really good. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Updated. Oh! Found on Marshall's own locker. Print had been wiped. Okay. Question is, though, why would someone go to the trouble of cleaning up that specific handprint and not the other handprint or the puddle of blood? Something's odd here. One of them just happened to be the same place as the blood-stained handprint. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened... The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The videotape shows no such thing. I'll say that. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Exactly, yeah. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me, with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. Oh, nice. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, though thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Yeah, that's true. I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. No, it isn't! It is absurd to assume otherwise. What? Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The sea of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. Oh no, he's using it. I was planning on using it. Uh-oh. So long as my trial isn't in there. So long as my trail isn't in there. You can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, continue your testimony. Okay. Wait, what? Is this a new line? This is a new line, okay. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime? Isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. I'm sorry, aren't there like 6 cameras in here? Objection! We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. The cloth! The hanging cloth! At some point, that door opened. Yes! Okay, here we go. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Thanks for the warning, buddy. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Here we go. Yeah, see, look at that. There's no shining light. Without any doubt, that door was closed. I think we're good here. And one more pan. Here it is. Take that! Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that's 8. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Yep, that locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. How could it possibly be something else? The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Marshall, aren't you paying attention? Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just plain dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker, now prove it. Sure. Evidence locker. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. Lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force who don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Well played. So, exactly, explain yourself. Why would you even lie about this? If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olay, please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. That's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Wait, what? Let's hear it. He would have been the man in white. He was the victim. Surely. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. Yeah, He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Oh. Marshall has a knife? Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, I predicted this. It was because Meekins would have recognized the difference. Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. You got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? A Hind D? Metal Gear? You still denying it? You're gonna have to do better than that to break it, Detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. It would be the white cloth that was stuffed in there, right? The white cloth! Let's open the vault and see what's inside. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Again! How dare! Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. It's so obvious that he's the one. What can I do? We can find the proof. Oh, save me, Edgeworth, please. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Damn it, Edgeworth, I thought we were friends. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. Oh, no, he is being my friend. He's just being smug about it. Okay. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. No, I'm asking to think inside the box. A specific box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise, but rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. The white cloth. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? Yes, to hide the evidence. What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. To hide the costume! The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? A trench coat! I've been screaming this for like 5 episodes now. Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. If Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. It's the bloody shoulder, isn't it? It has to be the bloody shoulder. Something about the trench coat became incriminating, so he was forced to hide it. And that would have to be the blood stain on the shoulder, which he simply couldn't hide. Right there. Oh, please be it.
Take that!
I think I got it. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. Oh, thank God. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Got him. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we? Yeah. Huh. Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did, all of it. Yeah, I think what's supposed to be happening is that Marshall is upset that Joe Darke was... Just like Angel Star, Marshall is upset that Joe Darke was found guilty. I think both of them don't think Joe Darke was the killer. So, yeah, huh? And that's even with a family member. Another Marshall family member was a murder victim of the true serial killer. Oh, jeez. All right. It seems the time has come. Oh boy, here we go. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. Yeah, it was due for transfer that very same day, right? I think that's the case. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. I think that's true, at least. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. That's right. Could it have been inside that vase? If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Yeah, we still don't know a single thing about why the vase thingy fell over and shattered. There's nothing about that yet. Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Okay. Trust us bit by bit. What do you mean by you had to do it that day? When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since the case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. So Marshall's motive is to seek justice. Yeah, he thinks the real criminal is still out there, so he wanted to go rogue and prove it on his own. Maybe with Angel Star helping him. Okay. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. Yeah, 'cause you're your family member, right? Yeah. Why does he care so much about it? Well, I know why. That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. Okay. I returned his ID card. Oh, which is why he carried it, or why he was there, why the ID card was there when he was murdered in the whatchamacallit, the prosecutor's garage. Wait. Could it be that Marshall fooled more than the cameras? Maybe whoever wanted Goodman dead, who conspired to kill Goodman, saw, quote-unquote, Goodman accessing the SL9 file, and they didn't want that case reopened. They wanted it to vanish. Okay, I think I figured out the case. Damon Gant is the real murderer in the Joe Darke serial murdering. And he saw Goodman, quote-unquote, accessing the goods and panicked, thinking that, oh no, they're on my trail, I better silence him. And so then Damon Gant twisted Lana's arm and forced her to do the killing, or at least framed her very convincingly, and that's it, yeah. Yeah, I'm saying it now, Damon Gant's the mastermind behind everything. I mean, by process of elimination, it has to be him. Meekins is clearly innocent, Marshall is clearly innocent, Angel is clearly innocent. It couldn't be anyone else but Damon Gant. It has to be him, with what we know right now. Okay, anyway. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But you could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off. Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. There it is. Poor Meekins. When did he get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? Yeah. I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught by the camera. Aren't there multiple cameras though? You did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat on the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. What you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown at the tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So, you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Oh yeah. There is a puppet master here who doesn't want anyone to see that evidence. Okay. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Perhaps the one who stole the evidence was the one who had the code 777777. Huh. Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. No, you aren't. You're in a court of law. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? I think I know. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Darke was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. Are you really that certain, Edgeworth? I remember the Joe Darke case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I do know why, sir.
Objection!
This isn't really an objection, I'm just pointing out something. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. Cactus juice, it's the quenchiest. It'll quench ya. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here in a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. The king of prosecutors. Whoa. Oh! He was the... I reckon that hairstyle. He was the fourth person in that one flashback photograph of everyone going over the SL9 incident in the past. Oh, he was the fourth person to be part of that. Okay. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. Oh, okay. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? He was my brother. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I see the resemblance. And the bizarre obsession with cowboys. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. Yeah, that's it. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. They were desperate to prosecute the killer. Whoa. Joe Darke. He has the exact same eyes as Damon Gant, but I'm sure that means nothing. Wow. My brother fought Darke and was killed. Whoa! Oh, wait, hold up. Wait, what? That was the first time Darke left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. Unless it's a similar framing, like right now. Presumably just as Damon Gant organized Lana to kill Goodman to throw off the heat of a trail, maybe Damon forced his direct underling, Neil, to get killed by Darke? Or something? Maybe I'm just grasping at straws here, but maybe I'm just biased, but I don't know. Okay. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Darke. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. Yeah, the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. And not a single goddamn thing even disproves the fact that Lana killed the real Goodman. Great. This has been like a entire unique separate case inside the other case. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Huh. Chance? It's got to be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. Not good.
Objection!
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. Shut up. All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. I know exactly what word he wants me to say. Arg! That's not it! That's not the right word, Phoenix! What happened to objection? It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. Oh boy. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds a defendant I was wondering when you'd come back. Your Honor, wait! Emma, the defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? She objected for me, great. Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Oh, that's kind. Okay. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out that the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Darke killings? Now that she mentions it, the name of both Skye sisters were in that file. Yeah, what's her relation to it? But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. Yeah, on Gumshoe's locker. Traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. But no fingerprints are found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. Did you have an ID card? So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry. Guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Well, this is awkward. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, these traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find out something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Okay, time for the tried and true strategy of bluffing and seeing where it ends up with where we end up.
Objection!
This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? The direction of the hand, maybe. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. That? Yeah, that's a right hand! Okay, hold up. Let's look at the floor plans, real quick. Floor plans. Okay, so bear with me. If someone walks in from the left and goes around the corner to the back of the room, the handprint with the bloody marker, the bloody handprint, if they touched it on their way in, it would be a left handprint. But if someone walked out of it, they would touch it with their right hand while going out. The locker would be on their right. So, someone pushed their hand against it with a bloody hand. Who was that? What happened? Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. Okay, what's missing in the floor plans? The unstable jar? Okay, I think it might be the unstable jar. We've never brought up that there was a broken jar at apparently the scene where Meekins and Marshall fought. So I want to say it's that. Yeah, this is the only piece of evidence that's significant enough to warrant being drawn on the map, so let's do that.
Take that!
As they say back west, even a blind man can hit with buckshot. That is, so long as he's facing the general direction. It seems Mr. Wright's not sure which direction to face. It's no use. The more evidence there is, the greater the chance of me being wrong. Wait, what? Oh! Okay, hold up, one moment. The handprint on Gumshoe's locker is with the right hand, but this is a left-hand glove. The right-hand glove is missing. What? Okay, well, I'm not getting penalized, so we're good. Oh, this is awkward and embarrassing. What's missing? Well... Oh, the switchblade knife! The switchblade knife is missing. Yeah, how the hell did that get over to the prosecutor's office? God damn it. Wait. Okay, yeah, okay, no, what's wrong with the floor plan? Jeez. The blue badger panel? What about that piece of plywood? Oh my god! The blue badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is not here. So? So watch what happens when he was in front of the blocker. It should have blocked the incoming hand. If the blue badger was still there, as the video showed, then that handprint could have been placed. Oh my god! Okay, well now I'm glad I understand it before it's explained. Oh, wow. Yep, holy shit. Well, what? That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? Boy, howdy. So that means... just what exactly does this mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. What?
Objection!
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Objection!
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Objection!
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Yeah. It would be this, right? IDs of all who entered the evidence room on the 21st. There's still the unknown timestamp, 420, ID number 7777777. I mean, it has to be that, right?
Take that!
If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card. Oh, the ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah! Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done? I never would have figured it. I figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. Yes. There's only one other card number remaining. All sevens. Talk about a lucky number. But wait. That doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. Yeah, I assumed as much. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777-7777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to... Wait, he counted? Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 77 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection!
But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge. You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
Objection!
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you could keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana?
Objection!
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7 sevens. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing. About that incident. The SL9 incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Oh. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for the trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Anna, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in the crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't... I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. Damn. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence... See? That's what I'm talking about. No! No! Lana's remarks caused such a stir, the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. To be continued. Holy shit. Lana sent an innocent person to his death. God damn. Oh boy. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. Okay, I'll have to end it off here. Well, phew. Well, that day at court went pretty smoothly. But even still, what a roller coaster. Even though we're just about to start the third day here, I feel like we've only scratched the surface of the iceberg, you know? Scratched the surface of the tip of this iceberg, yeah. Oh my god. Just wow. Lana, if you forged evidence to put a potentially innocent person to the death penalty, is that really even justice? Isn't that acknowledgement that the real murderer got away? Why bother if you were so certain about justice? How bizarre. Well, I think this video's gone on quite long enough, so I've been Zephyr the Jester. This has been Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. I thank you for watching, and hopefully I will catch you next time. So until then, please take care.